Sune, what's your list?
My list. Where's my? I had that before. To be honest with you, I don't think I've ever had a list.
Okay.
And my list actually, well, the things that I've looked for never changed since.
So now
high
if
school.
Jomo walks in now.
If Jomo walks in
One
now,
thing I know about you is that you
Yeah.
want a kasi guy.
oh no, that's like a cherry on top.
Okay.
Like that would be
So
like
basically like a Christian pantsula.
Where are you? You can give that person my number. Yes. Woo! No shit. That would kill. No, you see, Yavana, the diamond tops back in the day.
Yes.
It just, I find myself looking at, those side eyes where you're like, you're a taxi marshal, man. Yeah. It does something to me. I don't know what it is.
Did you watch The Wife?
And not for the dialogue, guys. Not for the dialogue. It was like
died.
The wife was actually wrong.
You died.
Because it now conditioned us to look at like taxi drivers a different way. You know what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong with looking at them by the way,
yeah.
because I do feel like you can find love there.
Yeah, 100.
But it's a different vibe now.
100,
Like
yeah.
suddenly all those
Hey.
rings the wings, suddenly you're like, over the hand.
Yeah. You're like,
So there's that, yeah. So no, the wife was hectic. Jovicho was hectic. Yizo zola.
Yeah.
So I guess, I would say then, if I'm talking about a list, like the exterior stuff, somebody who's not all together, man.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like
Sure.
somebody who's just, there's a bit of, I think I relate there because those guys always come with like very assertive. You know what I'm saying? This one guy who's actually my father, by the way. He goes to, because he had those, he wasn't a pantsula, but he was revolutionary. Like,
Yes.
Adela, let's
Yes.
fight and whatever.
He's getting the land.
And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think he said to my mom, I hope I got the story right, but he was like, oh, you've got a beauty spot on your face.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, no, I don't have a beauty spot. Yeah. And he was like, no, it's right there. And she was like, where? And he's like, your whole face. I died.
Go home.
I'm like, my father can
Go
do
home.
that.
Go
and I'm
home.
going to come and somebody's just going to say hello.
Go home. Go home.
My mom was done. She was like, I was finished. I was like, where you go, I go.
We're like, whatever land you're conquering, I'm conquering
going
that land
there.
with you.
I was like, and this was back in the day where people would, take you out for ice cream. And that's like a big thing because
Come on now.
you never had ice cream,
Yeah. When
So,
Milky Lane
yeah.
was still a thing.
Hey, bring back those days.
Please.
I even feel sorry for gents because now they really have to pay my niche.
I'm glad I'm married.
Yeah, like,
'Cause
look.
I'm like, if I was dating with my pockets now,
Hey.
it would be rough.
Hey.
I am trying to convince you how to develop exotic taste for kotas. That's me. I'm like, because that's what I can afford.
yeah, it's a bit rough. Yeah.
So you have a list or you don't have a list?
So I think, I would say that I have a list in the sense that in terms of character, obviously be in Christ, but also be somebody who's emotionally intelligent, who's awake to yourself, who's kind.
Yeah.
Because kindness, and for me, I think the two things, kindness and generosity, those two, I don't know, anytime I come across somebody who's like that, everything else is sorted.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So I think that would be the list. And then the third thing, I would just say, please, somebody who's like within my age range.
Sure.
I don't want to be, I don't want those jokes of, but she's older than you and all of that. I don't, even my mom was like, no, but I mean, it's just 2 years older. And I'm like, that 2 years.
Yeah.
That 2 years, or,
please.
oh no, he's 45. But he was born in the 70s. These people are tear gassing. I don't know, they're a bit violent, those ones, whatever. Maybe it's not 45, I don't know when you were born in the, so, but yeah, I think I would want somebody who's in my age range. But if it doesn't happen, I also know myself. It's not like a big deal.
Yeah.
And I think with age also, maybe your list is not that long because you know what is quality now and what is not,
So somebody said the older you get, you don't have a list because you're desperate.
Oh, there's also that.
Okay.
And that's another threat that comes from
Come on
people, you know? And I think one thing I like to do when somebody says stuff like that is, first of all, disarm them.
Come on.
Because they're coming again for my dignity.
Yeah.
Yes, the reality of being desperate is something that we do actually experience.
Sure.
Well, let me not talk for the single nation.
other
I'll say
people.
for myself. Yeah, the desperation thing can come.
Yeah.
You know? But that desperation thing is with everything. It's desperation in your career. It's desperation for your family member who isn't saved. It's desperation for this. So it's a human feeling, and I do feel that.
Sure.
And sometimes when somebody approaches you, you feel like, hey, maybe I should just... because this thing is getting critical now, you know? So when people say stuff like, you know, oh, but you're getting desperate and whatever, I'm like, yes, sometimes I go in and out of there. But the difference is that God has got me.
Sure.
And that's the big thing. That's why I don't go into acting on that desperation.
Yes,
But as for it happening, it happens often.
It's crazy.
You know?